walls, and wall joins. Let's open where we left off. Let's save as. So this is 905, and then cut that to clipboard and then type in begin and save. And save as again. Just highlight that and then paste that with my complete. Let's add what we're doing here in our project notes. We're going to be talking about wall joins. And we're also going to talk about a couple other little things, but let's just start with wall joins. We go to phase 1, and then we're going to go to show all complete. And then I'm going to go shift, middle mouse click, and just spin around. We have a problem here. And this is something that surfaced in an earlier video. We saw this where the walls shifted. Why is that? Well, walls automatically are lined up with them, especially in line, kind of in this linear sort of horizontal line. Vertically, not always. But let's just watch what happens. So if I go to modify, align, and I'm just going to align out this top wall to that wall. Seems simple enough. Now what happens is it moves this wall. That's because this wall is attached to that wall. So how do we stop that? Best way to do this is in a plan view, and I'll show you why. I'm just going to undo that last step. When I click on a wall in 3D, its base grip is down sort of at the level. And what happens with that is when you go to right click on it, sometimes it clicks another wall. It can be very frustrating. So what you want to do is just go to a floor plan, and then I'll go to top of foundation wall, phase 1. So we're all ready to go. We zoom in. Where's our wall? Well, even if we set the detail level to medium, we can't see our wall. So how are we going to adjust that? It was actually the one on this side to start. Well, let's try the view range. So I'm going to just go down to view range and edit this. Our wall was about 4 feet. So let's just cut up a little higher. Let's say 5 feet. Good. Now we can see it. Now, before we go and unjoin this, we need to go on a little bit of a segue because I need to explain something. Let's change our view range down to 3'6". Notice that wall. That wall has components. It's actually a brick with airspace and insulation and stud and gypsum, but we can't see it. We can't see any of the components in it. So we click on it. If we confirm our view range, just look at that again, 3'6". So we're cutting right through it. How are we going to see it? Well, it's all in the wall properties. So if we just click on the wall properties just for that one, notice here that the top constraint is unconnected, and then there's an unconnected height of 4 feet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it up to roof plate 1, and it's giving me a little message that some walls are overlapping. I'm just going to accept that and say okay. That's because it's shooting from the floor level all the way up to the top of the roof plate for this addition. Now, of course, we can see it. We're cutting through it. But what we can do now to put it back down is we can actually go here and offset it down from the top. So if we click on the wall and then we say, let's bring that down by, well, let's just say equals 9 foot and 5/8 inch minus 4 feet. Let's just put a minus on that so it actually goes down. Okay, so let's confirm what we've done here. We'll go to show complete. It's the same as the other ones. The only difference is it goes up to top of roof plate, which is right there, and then the top is offset down by 5 feet and 5/8 inch. And what does that mean? You can see it. So it's a little quirky, but that's how you can fix it and address that. Okay, so what we're going to do now is just pick these other walls that need to be also fixed. And we're just going to put those up to the top constraint up to top of roof plate 1. And then the top offset, we're going to say minus 5 feet and would be 5/8 inch. And then we apply that. Okay, so now we can actually see that bottom wall. Where were we? We were just adjusting the top wall. We were talking about wall joints, so we had to segue a little bit there. Let's just adjust our view range back up now. We're going to put it up at 4'6". Now we can see the wall below, we can see the wall above as well. Let's just click on that wall. That's the wall which is above. And we're just going to drag the wall. What I like to do is just drag that wall end out. In fact, I'll do it with all of the walls because we want there to be like a nice clean break between these existing building walls and the new building walls or the new addition walls. So we're going to click on those, just drag them back, and I'm staggering them a little bit. Now when I right click on the end of the wall, I can disallow join. I can click and then right click on the end of that wall, say disallow join. And then I'll go over here on this side, right click, disallow join, click, right click, disallow join. So that end, even though we drag it to there, it's not going to join up with the other wall. If I align it, so I'm going to go to align, don't lock it, but if you align it, it still is not joined up, which is good. And I'm going to just align these up. Excellent. Okay, let's flip back over to 3D because this is where our problem started and where we noticed it. Let's try aligning this wall and the other side. Let's try aligning them back and see what happens. Okay, so we're going to align this with this. Okay, notice above. So it does affect walls above as well. We're going to align that up like that. We're going to leave the association vertically though, because that's generally a good thing. So here, what we'll do is we'll just align to that face. We'll align that face there. Okay, I'll hit escape twice and things are better. Just one more thing to talk about with the wall joins. There's also a wall join issue in a plan view. So if I double click on my top of wall phase 1 plan, I'm just going to go in here and we're going to take a look at the corner. So anywhere where walls meet up at corners, wall joins are going to be an issue. A lot of the times, if you draw floor to floor or level to level, you won't have many wall join problems. But in the case that you do, if I click on this wall joins tool, I'm just going to click on that joint and you're going to see there's like a rectangle that goes around it. It's basically saying, okay, you're working on that corner, and it gives you some little lines showing what type of condition you have. So essentially what's happening is we're building this wall and then we're building this wall to there. So this wall, even the brick, is part of this wall right here where my mouse is. Now you can change that. So I can say, give me the next version of, we could say, let's use a miter joint. Okay, and if there's different possibilities, you can do that. Miter joints are good for walls that are the same type. Butt joints are generally more likely to be used. Notice what's happening when I say next. This wall is taking precedence. Now let's just take a quick look as to what that means. We're going to switch it so it's the other way. So this wall takes precedence. Let's go to the other one too and just confirm that that's right. See, this wall is different. Let's just go to the next. Okay, so we went wall joins, click on the joint, and make sure that it's a butt joint. Now we've got two joints here. We've got an upper and we've got a lower. So you want to make sure both are correct. So let's flip over to 3D again, as is our custom. And it's a really good idea to do this. So I'll just zoom in and I'm going to go to the wall joins tool. And we can either pick that wall or this wall. So I'm going to click the upper one. And notice what's happening here. If I say next, different ones are taking precedence. What does that mean? I'm going to hit escape twice to get out of the wall joins command. Let me click on this wall. Notice what happens? When I drag that up, that wall goes up and then this entire wall right to the edge stays down at its level. So this is something that you have to work with sometimes. Sometimes you're working on roofs, gable ends, and there'll be a little triangle, a little empty triangle where the roof is. And you'll just want to make sure that the gable wall takes precedence as you raise that up. Actually, if we talk about gable walls, it's usually nice to actually have another unique wall which is forming as the gable. But that's another thing that we can look at later. Okay, so that's wall joins. And let's save what we've done. We can just go to View, close Hidden Windows, and let's just save that. And we can put ourselves right back to the Recent Files interface.